Hello, I'm Lee from the blog The Little by Little Home, and today I'm going to share with you the most recent makeover of our full bathroom. When we moved into our home, we came from a house that had 3 full bathrooms. Moving here, we came to 1 full bathroom and a toilet and a closet. If you've been here a while, you know I feel like I talk about that every single week, and that's really not what I want to talk about. So we'll just say we came to 1 1/4 bathrooms. Anyway, we first moved in, we only had this 1 full bathroom. That was a big adjustment. But we did put in a half bathroom. If you missed that makeover of our half bathroom and a laundry room where we completely transformed a room into that space, you can go back a couple of videos. And I'll link that blog post in the video in the description below for you. Okay, back to the 1 full bathroom. It was a little bit of a struggle to juggle, but we did then add in a half bathroom, which is really good. But this is still the only full bathroom in our home. And we've gotten adjusted to it and gotten used to only having 1 shower. We've learned to kind of time things and juggle that, and that's worked out for us. So let's see, we had lived here for a couple of months and I gave this bathroom a makeover. I participated in a $100 room challenge, so the budget was $100 in order to transform the room. It needed a lot of different things, and I decided to save on the budget by just using paint that I had. The paint that I used is Behr Dolphin Fin, just a light gray, and it was great. It was great to be able to use paint that I already had, that I had brought from our previous home, and it worked well. Then I started to paint the rest of the house and swung back around now that I'm done with painting the entire house, the inside. I swung back around to this and decided, you know what, I think it needs some lightening and brightening up, just a little bit of a change. So one day, pulled out the paintbrush and I still used paint that I already had, it's just left over from all the other projects, and painted this bathroom a Behr Swiss Coffee, which is the same color I have throughout our home. The trim and the baseboard is just the Behr Satin Base White. I didn't add any type of color to it, just how it comes, just straight off the shelf, have them shake it up, and that's what I end up using. But the walls are Behr Swiss Coffee. The first thing that we needed to do was to remove everything from the bathroom. Now, because this is our only full bathroom, we still needed to function, so I just kind of kept the bare minimal in here and removed anything possibly decorative or anything that we wouldn't absolutely necessarily need at every moment. And it just mostly put some of that out in the hallway so it was still accessible. So first thing was to remove everything and then to give the walls and the trim, baseboard, everything a really good wiping down. Because I was trying to conserve paint and only use what I had, I didn't want to really spend any money on this project, and to be honest, I really just didn't want to run out and get more paint. So what I did was I ended up painting the walls and the trim and everything, well, the walls and this middle like chair rail part there. All the gray parts I painted with 2 coats of primer just to help seal in the gray. Now the bottom of the walls were already a white, so that was easy to go over with a slightly darker color and off-white over the white. Now in the shower, I ended up scraping the ceiling. We had some issues with some paint cracking and peeling because originally there was no fan in there. James did install a fan, and then this was my opportunity, or I really had no excuse not to go ahead and get that scraped and get the ceiling painted in there so that looks better as well. The timeline for painting really didn't take that long. There just is a lot to work around. Now originally I had left the brackets for the shelves up because I was concerned about removing them from the plaster walls, and James was like, why are you painting around them? Why don't you take them down? I was like, well, I don't want to have, giant holes and have issues. And he said that they're either screwed right into studs or he would have used anchors and they easily could come down. So after starting the painting project, I then went back and took that down and then painted behind that, which made it so much easier than painting around that. But just working around the mirror and the sink, the toilet, the window, the heater, the shower, all that stuff, light switches and everything, just takes a little bit more time even though it's a pretty small room. Now I'm going to be honest and tell you that once it was painted and before I did the baseboard and the trim and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't really loving it. I think it's because this was the first room that I painted and I had gotten really used to the gray. Couldn't imagine it any other color, that when I did paint it, whereas in all the other rooms when I have gone and painted them, I have loved them instantly, the change to the room. But for some reason this one just didn't really do it. I don't know, I just wasn't excited about it until I went back and I gave all the trim, like the window trim, the baseboard, the door, everything. I gave all of that a fresh coat of white. It only needed one coat of the white because it was white previously, but just by doing that just gave it a fresh look because it hasn't been painted in 2 years, which doesn't sound like a very long time. But when this bathroom is used very often, it just kind of got dull and I don't know, it just didn't have, it lacked the bright whiteness luster that it should have. So once I did give that a fresh coat of paint, then I looked back in here and I was like, okay, this is it. Now, why did I go ahead and paint this room? It really didn't need it, but I just, after painting the rest of the house, the gray in here, although it was a great gray, I highly recommend it if you're looking for a gray, check out Bear Dolphin Fin. It just was a cool color, and the rest of our home, I have painted warm tones. So that really is the main reason. I just wanted the bathroom to feel like the rest, like it kind of went cohesively with the rest of the house. Once the room was painted, we moved everything back in. There were 2 other things that I changed in here for this makeover. So I did the painting, and then the other 2 things were, the first one was the towels. I changed out the white towels and found, they're like pink, salmon, rose, I don't know what exact color they are, but I found them at Home Goods, and I don't know, they're not like a bright pink. Brought them home, washed them and hung them up, and then just waited for the response from teen boys. There was a little bit of groaning, but you know what, they used it anyway, they didn't really care. But with painting the walls a lighter color, I really wanted to add a color into this room, and I didn't want anything too bright or harsh, and I really didn't, I didn't want to do anything like gray. I'm like talking down gray and I'm wearing gray today. Okay, I didn't want to do anything gray. I didn't want to do any type of cool colors. I wanted to do a warm color. Saw these, it was a great price, brought them home. So now we have pinkish towels. The other thing was the shower curtain. Now originally when I did our $100 room challenge, I made my own shower curtain because the shower curtain length, the ones that I wanted, were completely out of my budget. So I made some out of curtains. And that lasted a while. They were really cute. I will link that blog post in the description below if you want to see what it looked like. I really liked it, but it just was not practical for washing, we'll just say that. So then I ended up chucking that and went over to Home Goods, purchased like a $10 super cheap white shower curtain because the tile in our shower is a green, and also this pink color, I kind of wanted something that was going to complement that, not compete with that, but I didn't want to do a green. I mean, to try to match that would be impossible. I think this tile is probably from the 50s maybe or so. Okay, back to the shower curtain. I brought that shower curtain home, washed it, hung it up, and it shrank like 6 inches. It wasn't going to be the length that I wanted all the way to the floor, but I figured it would cover, it barely covered like the bathtub. It was kind of always falling in. So I knew that was just a temporary solution. And I wanted to find something, again, that was long, that would touch all the way to the floor. Again, any of them that I want are way out of my budget. So I went to my go-to. Well, I guess Home Goods and window curtains. What I ended up doing was finding a pack of 4 for $25, and I pieced 3 of them together, hung them up on the clips, got a new shower liner, and it works. It's not my ideal. It's not maybe what I would love to have, but it's okay. The thing that I don't really like is that it is a little bit sheer, but I mean, you can't see in it, but just the sheerness, I don't know, it's just not what I would normally go and get, but $25 for 4 of them. I only needed 3 of them, so I have another one packed away in case something happens to one of these. So that's been my solution in order to get it to reach all the way to the floor and not spend like $150 on a shower curtain, because it's not gonna happen. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of different things in our bathroom that maybe you have questions about. The sink that is in here is not original to this house, but it is original to the time period. When we moved in, there was pretty much a replica of this sink that was in here, and it had a lot of rusts. I was able to find one on Facebook Marketplace that was pretty much identical. I think the size difference is just very slight, very small. Went and picked that up. It took a long time because James was working on other projects to get it installed, but he finally did get it installed. Oh, let's go back to when we picked it up. Drove to a house probably about 5-7 miles away from where we live, and it is almost pretty much identical to our home. I think that's because the original builder of our home, he was a builder. He designed this house and he built houses in the area. So I think that possibly he might have built that one too. That's kind of a fun story. All right, so the sink is original. Toilet not original. That's actually new to us. And so let's talk about these shutters right here. The bottom of this window is a frosted pane, but I just didn't feel like it was enough. The top is a window film, just like I added in our half bath and laundry room, just because I have tall people in my family. Just looking at me, you might not know it, but they're tall. I don't know, I just wanted a little bit extra privacy, and I didn't feel like the bottom was enough privacy that you still could kind of see shadows, and I just for privacy's sake. So we're able to open these up. We can adjust this to let more light in. At night we can completely close them so that nothing can be seen in from down here. And in the summertime or spring or something, we're able to actually open up the window and we can keep these shutters closed and still allow fresh air in. So I just liked putting this on. All right, James installed it, but it was my idea because it just adds privacy and a little bit of versatility. We can have airflow in here. And so that was my solution, as opposed to putting some type of shade or curtains or anything like that. So now let's talk about the shelves. I'm pretty sure when we first moved in, there was nothing on here. We'll get to that. So there was nothing on this wall, it's completely empty. And I was just like, we have to use all the space that we have. If there are 5 of us using this bathroom, we need to make it functional. But again, functional beauty doesn't have to necessarily be ugly. It was really easy to make this. Just common boards from Home Depot. Cut them, stained them. These brackets I think are even from the plumbing section. I spray painted them. They were gray, so I spray painted them black. He hung them up, and we're able to keep, washcloths, towels, there's extra soap, and then there's, some pretty stuff we got. We have a picture frame up here and a plant. Those things that's just the beauty part of the functional part. But we are able to keep things on here. Now, hidden behind the door is a cabinet, and that's not what I originally had put in here. I actually did have a small dresser when we first moved in here, just trying to use the furniture that we have, and that worked really well, but it just got to be frustrating when we couldn't open the door all the way, and the passage between the sink and the door just felt really narrow, and I figured we needed something else. So moved that dresser out and got something that was taller and more narrow so we can open up the door all the way. Did some moving around of things, and utilizing our linen closet a bit more that's out in the hallway outside of our bathroom was the solution for that. So a lot of the stuff that we don't necessarily want out and displayed, body products, beauty products, that kind of stuff, are in that cabinet behind the door instead. So you don't see it until you actually come in and close the door. My solution for our shower towels was just to put hooks. In order to have all kinds of towel racks and stuff, I would have to, really this is the only wall, we'd have towel racks up to the ceiling. So in order to have enough space for all 5 of us to have our towels, there are 2 next to the shower, and Mom and Dad get those 2, and on the back side of the door are the other 3. The kids just take their towel and they put it up on this one for when they go to take a shower. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret of one thing that I was thinking about changing out for this makeover, but I didn't get to it because I just couldn't decide, and I just honestly didn't feel like spending the budget on it, and that is the light fixture. It is obviously not original to the house, put in sometime, I'm gonna guess maybe 80s, 90s. It works. It is really the only light in here, so a lot of them that I found that are a sconce type don't emit a lot of light. Because they're just meant as a secondary light, because usually you have a ceiling light in the bathroom, which we do not have. So I do need something that is going to emit enough light that I can actually see when I put my makeup on, we can do my hair and stuff like that, that we can see well in the evening. But I couldn't quite find a sconce that allowed enough wattage. And honestly, I just kind of got tired of looking for one, and I was like, you know what? We'll just save that for another makeover, because this bathroom, this is the 3rd makeover. So the first one was the $100 room challenge when I painted it. Then a year later it got a refresh, and technically a year later it got this. So I guess we'll leave the light fixture for a year from now, so check back then. Thanks for stopping by and checking out our full bathroom makeover. It was fun to share it with you. I would love it if you hit that like button, and if you subscribe and get notifications as to when I have my next video out. But I appreciate you stopping by. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.